What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the rePORTER Show. We got the full crew back on air with us. We got Deb over here on my left. I got Tuck over here on my right. Didn't think Tuck was gonna make it today, so I'm glad my boy Tuck.
Come on, man. I'm always gonna come through.
I appreciate you coming in, man. Thing about these guys though is I gotta get rid of them. Yup. Cause you graduating and you graduating.
Oh yeah.
So these boys gotta go. So if you're interested, if you think that you can step into the shoes that they feel, I'm gonna need you to send me a little email saying I'm interested. Now I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna be real harsh when it comes down to this, because you're not gonna step up on here and act a fool. So if I don't think you can do it, don't be sad when I tell you. I'm sorry, we're gonna go with somebody else. All right?
And a lot of y'all really be hating. A lot of y'all hate behind the scenes. This is not as easy as we
It's
make
not
it look.
easy. I'm not
so
gonna
the
lie.
ones hating, if y'all want to come try, see if you can walk a mile in our shoes, y'all go ahead and have at it.
I gotta replace them though. For real, on the real, no, I do gotta replace them next year. So if you really are interested, please shoot me an email. These boys, when they're gone, I'm gonna be hurting.
It's gonna be a sad show.
It's gonna be a sad show, man. It's gonna be a sad show. But anywho, if you're looking at the big scheme of things, you see the jerseys. We still got a volleyball jersey up. Reason behind that is we still have volleyball going on in the spring. We got beach volleyball. Beach volleyball, ain't that something crazy?
First time ever.
First time ever, man. I think they're trying to build the courts over there where the tennis courts at. They're kicking out the tennis team that we don't have.
I'm mad about that.
I was playing pickleball over there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But it's okay. We got beach volleyball coming up this spring, so I'm excited about that when that does come around. But all we have right now is men's wrestling, women's wrestling, and of course basketball, men's and women's. So I'm gonna go ahead and kick this one off with men's wrestling. Men's wrestling, new rankings came out. Like I said, they are still not ranked. Can you believe that?
Again, disrespect.
Can you believe that? Can you believe that? What I will say, though, is Malachi did not go unnoticed. He has been bumped into that top 24. Malachi's ranked 24th in the nation at 184, a new ranking for Malachi Owens. At 149, 10th ranked Alex Pena has moved up to 8th in the nation. So he jumped a couple of spots. At 197, John Bray, ranked 24th in the nation previously, is still ranked the same. And at 25, 19th ranked Emmett Bivens, new ranking, after going 4-0, is now ranked 21st in the nation.
So he took some dubs and then dropped?
Does that make sense to you? Because it
sense.
sure didn't make no sense to me.
The math is not mathing.
Hold on. Because I want y'all to remember this. Last week when I talked about him, he upset somebody that was higher than him, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Guess where Buddy is? Above him.
Nah, that's crazy.
Above him in the
That's
rankings.
crazy, man.
I said, ain't no way. Who do the rankings?
Yeah, we're gonna have to boycott whoever the
No, that's
It's
wild. And I know it's the
ESPN
coaches.
polls and stuff.
I know it's the coaches that vote from the conferences and they send in they top whatever and do XYZ. Well, if it's the coaches, y'all gonna have to go back to the drawing board. Cause ain't no way in my mind, if I'm a wrestler and I go 4-0 upsetting somebody, it might not be that deep to y'all, but if I look on there and I see that my ranking has dropped, I promise you I'm calling
If it would have stayed the same, that's one thing.
That's one thing. But dropping
2 places?
I'm calling everybody.
Yeah.
And the person I beat still above me?
Above me.
It don't make no sense.
It's wild.
At all.
So we're going to move on past that. They had a matchup, the SAC/AMC duel, so two conferences battling out against each other. Crazy thing, no Emmett in this one. You know how big he is to the wrestling team. No Emmett got injured in warm-ups. That's a tough way to get injured. So hopefully he's all right. Hopefully it's not that deep. Still waiting on a couple of other injuries, especially on the women's team. So hopefully everybody bounces back because we got conference tournament coming up really, really soon. But anywho, they faced off against the 21st ranked team in the nation, Texas Wesleyan. So another ranked team. They're not ranked. So we got some big things to do here. We got some business to take care of. Yeah, exactly. We split the head-to-head 5-5. Took a lot of big losses, though. I won't lie to you. We had 2 tech falls, 2 pins, 1 major decision. So you know how that racks up. 6 points for pins, 5 points for tech falls, and 4 points for major decisions. So they got some really big points Texas Wesleyan did. So we had some work to do. Of course, at 149, 8th ranked in the nation, like I said, Alex Pena got us on the board with the pin. So a big win for us there. At 157, Josh Camillo won by decision 12-11. And then we were down 26-9 with 3 matches left. So if you do the math in wrestling, the only way to get this done would be if we get 3 wins and all of them got to be by pin. That's a tall order. Yeah. Tall order. So at 184, 24th ranked in the nation, Malachi came up, got the pin. So 1 for 3. At 197, 24th ranked in the nation as well. John got the pin. So 2 for 3. At 285, no Emmett Bivens.
Game on the line.
No Emmett Bivens, game on the line. We had Keegan Davis. Of course, he's unranked because he hasn't been wrestling because it's been Emmett.
Yeah.
And he comes up to face the 22nd ranked wrestler in the nation.
Man, that's pressure.
Game on the line.
That's some big time pressure.
Uh-huh.
Well, that boy got the pin. Your boy got the pin, and we won 27-26
Wow.
against the 21st ranked team in the nation, Texas Wesleyan. So, like I said, big win because, first of all, conference win, and then beating somebody ranked nationally, even though they still didn't want to rank us in that top 25.
Yeah, they still hating.
They still hating.
But it's a good W. Shout out to Keegan, man.
Yeah, bro.
Probably hasn't wrestled much all year. His name gets called in a crucial point in the season, obviously against not only a SAC opponent but a ranked opponent. And they kind of, they didn't deal him a great hand. He had to go get a pin for the team to win, but that's what he did. So you got to tip your hat to him for just staying ready for his name to be called.
You do. You do. That was big for us. So we took that win, and like I said, these are duels, so they have more team head-to-heads. So the next matchup was against Missouri Baptist. I believe they're receiving votes. I don't think they're ranked. We lost the head-to-head 4-6, and we took some big losses again. We had 2 pins, 2 major decisions, 1 tech fall. So it wasn't really much we could do after that. We only had a couple of key wins. Unranked Nathaniel Ruiz faced off against the 23rd ranked wrestler in the nation, and he won by decision 2-1. So big win for him. And then 8th ranked Alex facing off against the 19th ranked in the nation. He won by pin, so that boy's still dominating. And then Junon won by tech fall 17-2. But we just didn't have enough, like I said, to pull out the win. We ended up losing this one 28-17. But then we went into the next match against Williams Baptist, the team that was hosting. They at their home court, and they got obliterated 57-0.
57-0.
Oh,
57-0 at the crib in front of everybody.
Go ahead and cancel that season.
That's what I'm saying.
Go ahead and cancel that season.
That's what I'm
Come
saying.
on, man.
Come on, man.
57-0
Now, be for real.
at
You got
home.
57-0 at the crib?
Yeah.
That's pretty bad
You
news.
gonna allow that to happen?
Yeah.
sad.
You got to at least get a point. A point.
They couldn't even
get the point. We manhandled them. We had 5 pins. 5 pins. It's only 10 head-to-head matchups. Half of the matchups we won by pin. Then we got 1 tech fall, 1 major decision, and then they had to forfeit 3 of the matches because they didn't have somebody at that weight class. So they just, first of all, if you're going to host,
You should have.
You gotta come with some
somebody in
pressure.
Every weight class.
Yeah, bro.
Man, come on.
if you're going to host, you got to come with some pressure. But that moves the men's team to 10-2 on the year in team duels, upsetting 2 top 25 ranked teams.
So basically, we're not ranked
And we're not ranked.
after this next reassessment.
We gotta
of the
call
rankings.
somebody.
Yeah.
We got to call somebody.
Somebody
Straight from the
said-
reporter show.
Yeah.
Straight from the
Yeah,
reporter
from
show.
the
We got,
reporter show. They gotta
and we got to put the fine on them.
Yeah.
Because what you mean we not ranked?
And I didn't know that it was coaches,
Yeah.
that are on the committee that rank people. So some of y'all, they just let anybody be coaches
Yeah.
nowadays. Some of y'all shouldn't be coaches because
Yeah.
you don't know what good wrestling
Yeah,
is.
you don't know what it is.
And that's coming from somebody who's never watched wrestling.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, bro. No, because when I looked at it, I said, now this don't make no sense. I gotta go into it. So I started looking into it.
Because somebody lying,
Somebody is lying.
but stats don't lie.
Stats do not lie.
So
Wins do not lie.
Yeah.
So if I gotta be on the voting committee, if they gotta be on the voting committee, if I gotta call some people to change the order of something, we gotta do that because I can't have my boys moving down after they done got some wins, upsets, and overall as a team they still not ranked. Come on.
That's sad. Shout out to Malachi though. Shout out to Malachi though.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
I feel like he's been doing his job all season long. He's been upsetting people, and finally he cracked the top 25. I still think he should be higher than 24, but
Yeah.
I'm glad to see him get a little bit of recognition because
Absolutely.
I know he works hard, and he 9 times out of 10 he'll get the job done, whether you're ranked above him or below. He really don't care.
You're absolutely right. Let's take this one on to women's wrestling. Women's wrestling. Same spot. Went to the SAC AMC duels. They only faced off against 2 teams, though. New rankings are out. At 103, 14th ranked Mallory Dominguez, now ranked 16th in the nation, so she dropped. At 124, Tess made her way back in that top 25.
Good.
Or top 20. I forgot they do top 20 for women's. She dropped out of the top 20, I believe, a week or 2 ago over the break, and now she's back in at 20.
She had an injury early in the year, right?
She did have an
Yeah.
injury.
It's good to see her bounce back from
It
that
is.
and make her way back to number 20.
Definitely. Speaking of injury, though, at 138, Jordan Suarez is still injured. I think, like, every week they just drop her one spot because she's not competing.
Yeah.
So she was 4th in the nation. She's now she was 4th at her highest. Then she dropped to 5th. Now she's dropped to 6th.
Mm-hmm.
So I heard that she's been practicing. I don't know what that means for her in terms of competing though.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see on that. But like I said, she is now ranked 6th in the nation. At 160, another situation. 14th ranked in the nation previously, Mahogany Castle. Went 5-0 with, I think, 3 or 4 of them being tech falls or pins or something crazy, and only 1 point being scored against her. She has dropped to 17th in the nation.
She now dropped in 3 places.
And the girl she beat,
Crazy.
guess where she is? Ranked
Above.
above her.
Yeah, it's just something wrong.
It don't make sense.
I'm perplexed. I'm not understanding how does that happen. And I know I'm joking, like I'm being funny, but like if I was an athlete,
Yeah, no,
I ain't gonna lie, I would be pretty
I have
upset.
something to say about it.
I would be pretty
It's like,
upset.
I'm putting in work, standing on business
Yeah.
against all these top athletes who are
Mhm.
supposedly above me. I'm proving that I belong.
Yeah.
At a higher ranking, and you're gonna drop me 3 places.
You don't get no
It's
love.
it's got to be something. I'm really not understanding it,
Yeah.
and I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't think there's anything that you can explain to me that's gonna make me understand that. Because to
I
me,
agree.
if I win, that means I move up.
Yeah.
Period. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the end of the
That's
conversation.
my
It
job.
shouldn't be.
That's what I'm
it
saying.
shouldn't
I
be
did my job.
That's
confusing.
my job.
It should be. At 180, 10th ranked in the nation, Audrey Lockhart has dropped down to 15th in the nation. At 207, 10th ranked in the nation, Leilani Sanchez has dropped down to 12th in the nation. So at the duels, what I did not like about this is I could not find any information on the individual matchups. Nowhere. Not on the track wrestling, which is where I normally go. The SID couldn't even find it. My boy, he normally fills me in with a lot of stuff, so shout out to Jacob. Shout out to Jacob. He's
JT,
always helping me out, man. So he couldn't find any information on the women's, and the coaches didn't have any individual point matchups. I guess, I don't know what happened. Somebody dropped the ball, and they don't have that information. All they have is the scores overall. Like I said, they're trying to bounce back from that 1-4 over the break. They had a real bad slide over the break, but they still found themselves in that top 20. And they came out here and they handled business. I will say they had a matchup against Jarvis, which they won 43-6, and then they had a matchup against 14th ranked in the nation, Texas Wesleyan, and they won that one 33-16. So that must have meant that we had some pretty big wins, and I'm
Surely.
sorry to say I do not have that information with me. But they did handle business, so hopefully in that next top 20, they can find their way moving up the rankings and not sort of staying at a
Yeah.
stalemate or moving
Yeah.
down.
Well, Wesleyan was ranked ahead of us,
Yes.
correct? Okay, yeah.
But sometimes that don't matter,
Yeah,
apparently.
I guess according to the committee.
According to the committee,
we might drop. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. We might drop out of the top 20 just because we upset somebody.
for winning.
But anywho, that's all we got for wrestling. Let's take this one on to women's basketball. Women's basketball had a matchup against Langston. And like I said last week, I was hoping that Langston would be moved into the top 25 because honestly, how do you go 14-1?
Yeah.
How do you go 14-1? And I seen that top 25. It's a lot of teams in there with 4 or 5 losses.
Yeah.
And they did not make the top 25. The reason why that's such a big thing is now if you lose to Langston, you lost to an unranked team.
Yeah.
Langston should be
Langston
top
should be
20,
ranked. You
not
have
even
one
just
loss,
top
you should
25.
be- you
Yeah,
should be
you
ranked.
should be ranked.
High.
Maybe closer to 15.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
They should be. They should be a
They're
ranked
good
team.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, they're a very good squad, and we were ranked the same at 12, so we didn't move at all. Which I guess I sort of understand because Mackey was ranked underneath us, and we barely beat them. So I get the no move there.
Yeah.
So we went into this matchup tied for first in conference against Langston. In that first quarter, man, I'm not gonna lie to you, Langston, and I've said this before, when a team plays man against us and they have actual people that know how to play that,
Athletes.
athletes,
They got dogs
yeah,
out
yeah.
there on the court.
When they got people that play man,
Yeah.
we struggle.
Mhm.
We struggle because even in that first week, and I know it's first week, when it's the first week, you got some time to build
Yeah.
your team. But
Yeah.
even in that first week, when we played Texas A&M San Antonio or something like that,
Oh yeah, it was a close one. Huh?
that was a really close one. It was because they were playing man and they were playing full court press
Aggressive.
whole time,
Aggressive.
whole time. And because of that, we struggled. We had 8 turnovers in the first quarter.
Yeah.
In the first quarter,
Yes.
and we shot fine. But check this, we only got out 12 of them. They got out 22 shots in the first quarter.
Yeah, so I mean, just by
that.
the nature of numbers,
Mhm.
they're
They're
probably
gonna
gonna
be
score
in-
more
yeah,
for the first
12
quarter.
shots
Exactly.
and 8 turnovers is
It's not gonna add up.
Yeah,
it's crazy looking at the
It is. And so we went into that second quarter, the same situation. We could not get into our offense. We had 5 turnovers in the second quarter. So we were at, let me do the math, 13 turnovers.
Yep.
Going in the half.
First half.
Yeah.
13 turnovers first half. Shot 5, got off less shots than the first quarter. 10 shots this time. 45% from the field. That's great. But your opportunities.
Yeah.
You got to get them.
And our team thrives off of shooting.
That's what I'm saying.
Thrives off of shooting.
Yeah.
It's live or die by the three.
I mean,
Yeah.
if they get less shots, well, obviously.
Now we ain't got nothing going.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so we were down 33-26 at the half. But Langston was not shooting well. But, I mean, it don't matter. If you shoot more, you probably going to knock down more shots. Probably going to knock down more shots. And that's exactly what was happening. Came out in the second half, cold. Same situation. No one to go to in the third. We made an effort in the fourth, I will say, but we never really caught fire offensively. So we ended up taking the L. We lost 69-60. So we are no longer tied for first in conference. Of course, we're still decent in the rankings, but you got to imagine how crazy the rankings are. You never know what could happen.
Yeah.
Especially with Langston being unranked.
Yeah.
And we lost to
and
him.
being that good of a team.
And being that good of a team,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And so I'm not going to lie. I know a lot of my focus is always on us. But I'm not going to lie. I can't even really say, like, oh, we played a bad game. We didn't do X, Y, Z. Langston played a great
They're a good
defensive
team.
game.
You
Yeah,
gotta give
like,
credit where it's
you gotta
due.
Yeah.
Like, honestly.
Yeah.
You really do. If you're watching that game, go ahead.
I mean, it's a packed house. Langston, just like us, whenever we play them, they have a great crowd, just like we did when we played them. And I think, they're a team at home that thrives off of
that energy.
emotion and turnovers, and they go on quick runs. And so we got a couple of turnovers. We got intimidated. The crowd got into it. And then now they start hitting shots that they might not usually hit, or, you know what I'm saying? Just you can go a long ways when you get some momentum. And so I think we turned the ball over too many times and gave them easy layups.
Yeah.
But that being said, after the first quarter, we were down by 2 points. After 8 turnovers,
After 8
and
turnovers
they shot
and
10
they
more
shot,
shots than us,
yeah.
and we're down 2 points. So looking at the stats after the first quarter, it's like, man, we cleaned some things up and we'll be in the driver's
Still a
seat.
game,
So
yeah.
I will give them credit as far as, they executed their game plan. They sped us up. They turned us over. However, in my opinion, we just still didn't play to our capability. I mean, the girls turned the ball over decently at a decently high rate, but
Yeah,
not
they did.
this high.
But
Not
not
at
this
this
high.
rate.
Not
And,
this
and,
high.
and the thing about them is if they do turn over that many times, they
The
get a
other
lot
team
more
does,
shots
too.
than what they do.
They
Yeah.
do. They do. And the crazy thing about it, I know you said this to me, and I want you to explain this to me a little bit more, because I wanted to talk about their struggles. I know you said when a team is playing that full court press and you playing man, you mentioned to me that this should be something where they're looking at it like, okay, I'm going to get an easy bucket down
Oh,
low.
yeah.
Explain to me why it is that we couldn't do that either. Like,
Yeah,
what was the problem there?
because some teams have tried to press us and it didn't go well. They get
Yeah.
out of it within a minute or two because we get
shoot the
3
lights out.
layups in a row.
Yeah.
Megan gets an uncontested layup.
Yeah.
Which, she could almost dunk it at that point. But the Langston game, I'm not gonna give all the credit to the crowd, but I will say just from what I was watching, I think the crowd got into it because they turned it over once. It's like, okay, like
Yeah.
not a huge deal, but then it's just when they pressure the ball.
Oh,
Man,
Sadie.
y'all don't mind Sadie, man.
Oh, Sadie.
Y'all don't mind
You messing
Sadie.
it up, Sadie. Oh, man.
Sadie tripping.
Yeah, man.
But,
go ahead.
But nah, yeah. But a team full of athletes and girls who are just as fast, if not faster than our girls, when they're pressuring the ball, it seemed like we got a little bit flustered and just started throwing it up for grabs.
That's what I was gonna say. Like you could tell they got in our head, like from the crowd to even the players. They talk. They're gonna
Yeah,
talk,
they gonna
be in
talk.
your ear, get in
They
your
gonna chat at
head.
you.
The coach, the bench, crowd, everybody. And I feel like our girls, that's something that they're not really used to.
Yeah.
And so the defensive pressure, the noise, everything, it just kind of caved in on them. And like despite that first quarter still being a close game with how bad we played,
Yeah.
I think over the course of the game it stayed in our head and we
It
couldn't get out of
definitely
that.
did. What I think, though, is this game is going to prepare you more than any other game for the national tournament.
Oh, for sure.
Because the thing is, not every gym is going to be jumping like that.
Nah.
Let's
Very
be
few
real.
gyms in the country do
There's a very different environment, no matter what level you're at when you go to a HBCU school.
that.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna keep it big with you.
That's a truth.
If you
That's
go
a
to a
truth.
HBCU, and for those of y'all that don't know what HBCUs are, because I've had people say, "What is HBCU?" Well, listen, that's a historically black college and or university. Now, them colleges do be turned. I will not
Yeah,
lie to you.
there's
When
no-
you go in the
there's no
gym,
escaping that.
They came in to set it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, like,
When you got little
yeah.
Boosie playing, when you got Boosie playing like
Yeah, bro. Like, it's a little different. It's a
man.
little different of an environment, and sometimes it creates a different type of pressure.
It does.
Because I will tell you, when I played in a stadium where there's 5 or 6 people in the stands, and you know, there's a couple people chatting at you, that's nothing.
it's practice.
But when you walk into a stadium where everybody is in there, and the students call you out for any little mistake you make, that's a different type of game.
and they're gonna call you out on your mistakes, your
Yeah,
shoes.
yeah, it don't matter.
Your sock height.
They could be talking about you even if you're having a great game.
Yeah.
It's a little bit. It's a different type of
It
you know
is.
atmosphere, and so I think with this game, you can take this and say, you know what, we lost by 9. We really didn't lose by 9. We had to give them free throws at the end.
Yeah.
You know how it is.
Yeah.
Let's say we lost by 5 or 4. Let's say we lost by 2 possessions. Basically, you can go into the national tournament and know that you have already reached the highest amount of pressure you're gonna reach this year. There's
Yeah.
not a lot of schools like that at the NAIA level.
I'm not upset necessarily at that loss because, in my opinion, it's more of a lesson than a loss.
It is.
For sure.
And so going forward, I think that was a perfect, almost like blueprint for the potential that this team has.
I agree. And most teams in the SAC, I'm gonna say most. I'm not gonna say all, but most teams in the SAC, when they see the game scheduled at Langston, a lot of teams don't expect that to be a win. A lot of teams expect that to
It's
be a
a
loss. The Flying Queens, obviously.
Of course, they
Of
expect
course,
to win.
You know, they have a higher standard than most, and the men and we as well. That's a game we expect to win. But you know, it's a great environment, and when you do lose it like they did, it's kind of like you can look back and put things into perspective. Like, okay,
If we
that's
did
a great
this,
environment to
yeah.
play in, a lot of high pressure
a
game,
lesson.
and we didn't play our best. And we only lost by 9. So I think there is some good to take away from it for
Yeah.
the women.
Definitely is. And then they went into their next matchup, and they answered
God.
with a lot of anger.
Yeah.
I think they was
Yeah.
mad that they took that
Yes, they
L
were.
because they went into Central Christian and they won by 60 points. Yes, 60 points.
Ball, bro.
A 60 ball? 108 to 48?
And I'm gonna tell you right now, 60 was being generous.
Was it really?
It could have
It
been
could've been
a
worse.
heck of a lot worse.
It was a
Oh, my
murder.
goodness.
It was a murder.
I couldn't watch it. And I've noticed a lot lately that schools, after the stream is over, they don't keep it up anymore. I don't know why they do
Oh
that.
yeah, they like.
So
take
like
it off
if
their website.
so if
that's
you don't
weird.
watch it
Central has
live,
done that.
yeah, if you don't watch it live, then you can't see it anymore.
Yeah.
So stop doing that, man.
Yeah, like come on.
I leave all my games up for y'all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like y'all
Come
can go
on,
watch
bro.
our games from 5 years ago. Like come on, man, leave them games up for me. But a 60-point win is crazy. I think it was a great response. They had 5 girls in double digits, with 4 of those girls shooting 50% or more. Megan had 23. She was shooting higher than 50%. Linda had 19, which is great news because I'm not going to sugarcoat it. She struggled a little bit in the past couple of games. Shots not falling, trying to get things going, and sometimes it just doesn't happen that way. So it's good to see that she can come out here and get her a confident game in before we get to that conference tournament.
Yeah.
So she had 19. She was shooting well above 50%. Peyton had 11, of course. Above 50%, and Brooklyn had 16. I think Caitlin was in double digits as well, but I put down these 4 because they were all shooting above 50%. So it was a nice bounce back for the women.
It was. I mean, there's really not much that needs to be said.
No.
It was from the word go. We dominated. The first time we played them, they played with us for a
They
quarter
did.
and a half, maybe even
Yeah.
almost 2 quarters. But this one, they left no doubt. I mean, the game was over 2 minutes in the game. You could tell it was going to be a blowout. So I think they took the loss personal to Langston, and then they went out and showed the country what they can be. So they handle business. It's plain and simple.
Absolutely.
It's just a matter of keeping that energy going.
Exactly.
It is.
Exactly. I mean,
It is.
they got to a point where they're trying new moves, working on new plays. I mean, it's just like
It was one of them games.
I mean, what do you do when you're up 60? Even in the first half, I believe we had 50 points with still maybe 2 or 3 minutes left in the
Dang,
half.
bro.
So I mean, they were just scoring.
That's a type of.
at will.
I'm gonna ask you this then, since you say it like that. Even though lesser competition, I know you're gonna be a little bit more confident in your
Yeah.
shot. But did this look a lot better than I would say majority of their games, scratch competition wise?
Yes.
Just
Yes.
shooting, just dominating.
Yeah,
that
just
sense?
dominating because they played teams. I mean, Central Christian, I don't know where their women rank in the SAC. I'm assuming
Probably
in the
at
bottom quadrant.
Yeah.
But there's teams in the SAC that also aren't good
Yeah.
that we haven't
Yeah,
done that
haven't
to.
done that too?
60
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
60
you gotta think
points
60
is
points
crazy.
is hard
Yeah,
to
no,
win
I
by.
know it is. I
It's
know
hard
it
to
is.
win by
I
60.
know
Like
it is.
most bad teams, you win by 25, 30, but 60, I mean, we never
60
took our foot off the gas,
yeah.
and that's where I got to give Cooper and just the
Girls,
whole team
yeah.
credit. I mean, when you're up 30, it's like
All right,
it's hard to be motivated.
Yeah.
So
Well, I hope they keep that fire, man. I think, like you said, it was really good. Sadly, for them to take that long.
yeah,
I think that might have put a little
like
something in them.
a reality check.
Yeah, really,
sometimes that's what you need.
really. And to say that was your second loss of the year, ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, nothing at all.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. They're still sitting in good position to take back first.
They still can.
Langston could drop a game to MacU. You never know, because I think they have one more matchup against MacU.
Well, I know they might have played last night.
They might have played last night.
Did.
Check that out
I'll
for
check
me.
it.
Check that out. I'm going to go ahead and move it on to the next subject while he's checking that out. We got men's basketball. Men's basketball also had a matchup against Langston. And at the time, like I told you, we were basically like a half game behind, but pretty much tied for first because of their situation where they did not play a game and they had it postponed, my fault. And so this was a really big game for us as well on the men's side of things. We had some tough defense early. I enjoyed watching that game early on. We had a no easy buckets mentality. And sometimes it looked like we was fouling, but it was just like we was doing just enough to get the stop and not foul. And I was thinking to myself, okay, I wonder if that's the game plan, because Langston, over the course of the season, has not shot very well from the free throw line. They don't knock down free throws very well, and they didn't knock them down well the first time we played them, which led to that win for us. And so I was thinking, like, okay, that must be the game plan, man. And we was hitting from deep a little bit, had a couple of missed opportunities on switches down low, I will say. There was a lot of times where they would switch and our big would be left down low, but we could not find him down there to capitalize off of that situation. I don't know if it was more of keeping the safe play, you know what I'm saying, because sometimes it is a gamble to try to pass that man, pass it to the man down low when you away from the arc and you got a big man on you trying to throw it over him. Somebody can cut your pass off, so I get it. But but it was a pretty good first half. Shot 42% from the three, knocked down 5 of 12, had a 10-point lead at one point in that first half. So we was up 28-24 at the half, though. We ended up losing that lead a little bit. Q was in early foul trouble.
Q didn't play much the first half.
Yeah, man. So he didn't really rock out until late in the second half. Langston started hitting their shots though when they came out in the second half. Defense broke down in this half.
We did.
Talk to me about that, man, because I was a little bit confused. I know in that first half y'all looked like y'all had them locked up for good, and then the second half came out and it was just like you opened up the floodgates. Them boys started hitting everything.
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember the number. I believe they shot 29% from the field first half, which is elite defense by us. Second half, they shot 61. So that pretty much tells you the story of the game. Just a tale of two halves. I mean, the first half, we felt good. The crowd was not into the game. I mean, we kind of
shut them up.
We shut the crowd up early, to be honest with you. They were selling for bad shots. They really only scored points off free throws the first half. I don't know how many points they scored just in the half court, but it wasn't a whole lot. And then we gave them just a couple easy ones. And then they got going, and then that's all it takes. Langston's one of those teams. They're destined to go on a run. They're going to catch fire at some point in the game, and you got to be able to withstand it. So second half, I believe we turned it over 2 times in a row. They got 2 layups, and then we battled with them, we matched them, but once they got up 10, it was we went bucket for bucket with them, but we didn't do anything to take away from the lead. And we got a couple dumb fouls at the end. Like I believe they probably shot 6 free throws in the last minute or two. So it was a little bit closer than 13. It was really a 6 or 7 point game. It came down to about 3 possessions, but yeah, man, we stopped. Our ball screen coverage wasn't near as good the second half. We stopped forcing them into taking tough shots and started letting them do what they do. And so,
that crowd got behind them too.
They got up.
And then they started riding some momentum as well.
Happens.
So
once they start hitting, the fans start cheering.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
I mean, and there's a reason since they got their coach, my sophomore year, Coach Wright, they have it. They're 30-something and 0 at home. So there's a reason they don't lose home games. They're just a different beast at home. But that's still a game. Looking back, like, man, we had them up against the wall. It's not like they blew us out. Like that's a game that we still feel we could have won and probably should have won.
Should have won.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think basketball is basketball. I mean, a lot of sports are like that. A team can get high, a team can go up 10, and then next thing you know, they're down 10. So I get it.
But in my opinion, going from 29% to 61%.
That tells
that's on us.
Yeah, that's nothing that they did. That's just us being bad.
Miscommunication, lack of aggression on defense, lack of paying attention.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm with you. So they ended up losing them one, like you said, at 70-57. So it was a tough loss for us. It was a 3-game slide after this one, coming out in the new year. So it has not been nice to us at the beginning of the new year, going 0-3 off of that break, man. So going into the game against Central, hopefully coming into this one, taking a dub and taking a confident dub. This was a somewhat of a back and forth game. I won't lie to you.
Yeah.
From reading the stats and from what I've heard, it was a little bit of a back and forth. And both teams were knocking down shots, especially in the second half. The shooting percentages for both teams just jumped through the roof in that second half. Both teams seemed to sort of catch fire.
They were hitting some tough shots.
They
Yeah.
were.
They were hitting some tough shots. There's no way.
Yeah. It was one of them nights for
It
them.
was
Yeah.
one of them ones, yeah.
Yeah.
It was one of them where even if you let them get some easy ones early in the second half, and now they start making the tough ones because they were making
Start
some
getting
ones.
their little confidence.
Yeah,
and stuff.
exactly.
I will say though, I'm glad to see that we hit our free throws.
That
Hit
was
our free
good to
throws,
see. That was good to see.
and we played well at the end. And we finally cut that losing streak short, and we won this one 83-78. So we cut that off. Q showed back up in this one with 29 points, 10 for 15 from the field, and 5 for 6 from the three-point line. So big game for Q, bouncing off of that rough loss versus Langston. Did you see the matchup for MacU and Langston?
Yeah, Langston women won that one.
They won that one.
So
they're
probably
probably gonna run away with that first spot.
See, well, we have 2 losses. They have 1. So
I mean, no. I get that. But in reality,
Yeah.
Langston losing to anybody other than MacU or us,
Yeah.
it's
No,
very
it's
slim.
low. It's
It's
low.
very slim.
Yeah. So the women did win.
Yeah.
The men actually lost to MacU
Really?
last night.
Oh, that's
which
crazy.
kind of, I mean,
That
they still got to
sorta
lose
helps
another
out
one,
a
but
little
it
bit.
opens the door.
Yeah.
But but back to the men at least. Yeah, man, we were just kind of after the loss to Langston. It's one that hurts because it's like, man, this is let's be honest, this is the biggest game of our season thus far.
Yeah,
It's
we
for
did
first
that.
place.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we definitely realized, man, we got to start playing like we're a desperate team because we are.
Yeah.
We didn't handle business non-conference, so we have to finish in the top quadrant, hopefully top 1 or 2.
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
conference,
no, for sure.
to have a good
Shot at the
good
national
shot at the
tournament.
national tournament and then a good seeding in the conference tournament. So it was good to see us bounce back against Central because they're another team that's right there in the middle of the hunt too.
They are.
So
They are. Well, men's is tight. I
Yeah.
know, like I said, men's is with. You know what? I'm not even gonna lie. It's 3-way for men's and women's. For men's and women's, Langston and Wayland are 2 of those 3 teams, and then for the women's side, MacU's the 3rd team, and for the men's side, Nelson
Yeah.
is that 3rd team that's in the hunt. So it's gonna be a
It's gonna
very
be
exciting
interesting.
finish to
It
the regular
is.
season, and it's also gonna be a very exciting conference tournament.
yeah,
If I could drive out there to Oklahoma City, I would.
what's that? Is that Langston?
I really.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm saying no.
Is
I
that
wish.
Langston?
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, it's at Langston. So it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hopefully
man.
we get to see, hopefully men and women get to see
Yeah.
Langston again in the
In the
championship. I mean, what better
championship. Yeah.
story
I
would that
wish,
be?
bro.
See them in
I
the
wish I could
championship.
go to that, but I'm gonna probably be working, man. So I'm gonna have to watch from the
We
crib.
were requesting an off day for Jay.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
You know, somebody can go do the games for me. Psych, that ain't gonna happen. I'm probably gonna miss it, but it is what it is, man. Let's go ahead and get into these upcoming games, man, and go ahead and get ready to close this one out. Thursday, home games for basketball. Honestly, home games all weekend. Basketball on Thursday, like I said, versus Texas Wesleyan at 6 and 8. So women at 6, men at 8. You already know what it is. I won't lie to you. The men's team for Texas Wesleyan, they are somewhat in the hunt. They are just out of that top 4.
Yeah, they're,
And I think they only have 4 losses.
yeah, they're playing good.
Yeah, they're playing good, and so that's going to be a really big game and a really good game to come see. So make sure y'all check that out Thursday
Bring
night.
energy.
Absolutely,
let's do it.
Absolutely.
Let's do
Like
it.
we just talked about Langston having that type of energy. I've seen some pretty wild stuff here at Wayland in the student section. Y'all can get rowdy, so y'all might as well check out the games on
Did it for the
Thursday
Langston
night.
game.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. Y'all did it for the Langston
game.
The
game,
first
bro.
semester they showed up. It's
Yeah.
been a while. We've had a couple home games over the break,
And it's been a little
and
minute.
just because the students have been gone
Yeah.
for the break, so it's been kind of sad in the hutch. So I'm excited to hopefully the students come out,
Yeah.
and we can get it back rocking again. 'Cause,
Ain't what's his name gonna be getting the students right? Your homeboy.
Brett.
Yeah, Brett gonna get him right,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Okay,
Brett gonna-
okay,
he
Brett gonna
get
get him
it
right.
down.
He got the blue crew, bro.
He got the blue crew.
Yeah.
Friday, baseball has their first home games this weekend, and the president will be throwing out the first pitch. I think it would be nice if the students showed up for that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know it's cold. Listen,
It's
I used to
gonna be
play
cold.
in it. I used to play in it, so I get it. But put on 3-4 layers and come out there.
Maybe a onesie.
Maybe a onesie. You know he got 1,000 of them. So if you need one, come
Hey,
ask
man.
Dad for a onesie.
Keep me warm,
all right?
bro. Keep me warm. I don't care how I look.
Y'all gotta
Keep me
show
warm.
up, man.
Yeah.
Baseball against Tabor this weekend at 12 and 2, so a little bit earlier in the day. Hopefully the sun is out. It's gonna be cold, so the rays might heat you up just a little bit. And then men's wrestling will be away at the Missouri Valley Invitational. And then on Saturday, track and field will be away at the NAIA JUCO Challenge in Kansas. Baseball has their home games again at 12 and 2 on Saturday, and then basketball versus USAO at 2 and 4. So there are games to go to every day this weekend. Y'all better show up. We won't be streaming the baseball games for those of y'all that watch from afar. We won't be streaming the baseball games on Saturday because we will be doing the conference games for basketball, but we will be streaming those baseball games on Friday. But that is all that we have. I didn't have a certified nominee. Y'all got somebody in mind?
I'm gonna go. What's his name?
Who?
Wrestling. Keegan.
You gonna go
Yeah,
Keegan?
Keegan,
I
Keegan
thought
getting
about
off
that,
on
but I was
that,
like,
man.
he took a loss though.
But he stepped
Shout out
up. Game
Malachi
up.
as well.
He stepped up,
I'm
you're right.
Malachi name.
You gonna throw
and
Malachi in
I'm
there?
gonna throw his name
I feel that.
in the couple too. So I don't know.
Alex be standing on business all the time too.
He do.
He got to handle business
He do.
week after week.
I don't know what to do.
I'm gonna just go.
You gonna
Keegan.
go with Keegan?
I'm gonna go Keegan because he stepped up.
That is a
He
huge.
kind of like
That's a huge-
unexpected. That's a
like
that's
the
kind
newcomer of the week.
Yeah,
That's what he did,
man.
'cause,
Well,
man, he showed
Keegan.
up.
I know you probably don't even watch this. I think wrestling players don't really watch this that much because y'all think we don't talk about y'all, but we talk about y'all.
I'll give it to wrestling though,
yeah,
because
man.
they showed up in the
They did,
in the
bro.
poll for Mahogany last
They
week.
do.
They did show up in the poll.
When they
so-
see them names,
Yeah.
when they see
yeah, so shout out
wrestling,
to them. I appreciate them at least. You know what I'm saying? Being
Absolutely,
involved in what's
absolutely.
going on.
interacting with it.
yeah. So we're gonna go with Keegan this week for Player of the Week, man. Big win for them against Texas Wesleyan, getting that upset. Hopefully, in these new rankings, man, we can see some different things because the way y'all do these rankings, that don't make no sense. But I'm gonna get off of that, man. Y'all got anything else?
Nah, man.
Show up,
Good
show
to
up.
see y'all
Show up
Thursday
this
and
weekend.
Saturday at the game.
Yeah, show up
That's
this
all,
weekend.
y'all. We all back in Plainview.
We are.
You just got back, so you don't want to go back home. So
You ain't got nothing else to do. It's
Yeah,
playing.
nothing else, bro. It's Plainview.